Wednesday, May 11th, 2016. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll call this meeting to order, and would you please give attendance, please?
Patty? Here. Matt?
Here.
Ken?
Here.
Mary Agnes?
Here.
Angie? Here.
Okay, we have the agenda in front of you. For additions and deletions, I have a couple of things I'd like to add. The first one would be under G, unfinished business. E, the spreadsheet for the calculating of the low bidder for the lawn maintenance contract. We had the bid opening on Monday. Also, F, we'd like to bring back the compensation committee and put Vi Paff on it if she's still interested in serving.
Is she here?
Yep, she's nodding, so, okay.
She is. She will.
Anyone else have anything they want to add or take off?
No, ma'am.
So you want to do that under new business, H for Vi, for the compensation committee?
No, that's old business, unfinished. We'll go back to that.
Oh.
And that was brought to my attention by Mr. Kowalczyk. All right, shall we get going on this? Anyone have anything else? We'll approve the agenda as presented with the additions. Do I have a motion to that effect?
I motion to approve the additions.
Okay, do I have a second? We have a motion to approve with the additions. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those no, nay. Motion carried. All right, first thing is the consent agenda. We have the approval of the board minutes, regular minutes of April 13th, and special meeting April 15th. We also have the approval of the treasurer's report dated April 30th, 2016, the township cash summary by account report, April 1st through the 30th, and the township investment for April 2016, including all CDs and money markets. Number 3 is the approval of clerk's report, revenue and expenditure report, period ending April 30th, 2016. Comparative balance sheets for April 30th, 2016. We have approval of paychecks for April 14th and April 20th, gross combined income total of $12,546.65. Number 5 is approval of accounts payables, opens to be paid in the amount of $93,065.87. On the paids, we have $17,700.80. Number 6 was continuing education requests. We have none. We have Huron Consultants Engineering Project Status Report dated May 1st, 2016. Under correspondence, we have the Marine City Fire Authority Fire Department runs for April of 2016, and Ira Township's department runs for April of 2016. That is our consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve as presented? Any questions or discussion?
And the bank reconciliation report was removed?
Yes.
Okay. Was there a reason why?
I don't have the statement.
All the statements are online on PDF form through Talmer Bank account.
I get them in the mail.
If you go online, you can get up-to-date information, all outstanding checks and all cleared
Well, thank you
checks
for the information.
to the date.
Anything further?
Everything else looks good.
Anyone want to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. By roll call vote, please.
Angie, yes. Ken?
No.
Matt?
Yes.
Patty?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes. I have a question. What are you missing that you don't care for, Ken?
I'll bring it up to you later.
Okay. All right, now we have an open session anyone wishing to address the board regarding the agenda items that we have on the agenda. May approach the podium and state your name and what's your...
The whole agenda or just the consent agenda? I mean, is that anything on the?
That's anything.
Okay.
Both sides, yep.
Sorry, Barb.
I see on the back page, we're asking, Don Chap is requesting to hire a utility billing clerk for the water department.
Yes.
I believe that job falls under the clerk or one of the other departments that we have now that are being paid as part of their duty. And if they don't do part of their duty, they're not earning what they are getting for that job. So I think we should look into that and see what that is and how much it's going to be. And again, I don't think John Chop should be the person to hire the person as a billing clerk.
Well, he wouldn't, he's just requesting that we hire.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like he was,
He
yeah.
represents the DPW department. He and his dad were supposed to be here tonight. I'm sure they're on their way, but
No, I understand that. I just didn't want it like where it could be, you could say it's a personal conflict of interest if they were to hire somebody,
oh,
that type of thing.
Well, I'm going to kind of agree with Alan, but I do think that hiring a utility billing clerk, you are moving in the right direction. 3 years, 3. These water bills are so screwed up. And do you want to open it up and have a $2,100 water bill? You know something's wrong somewhere. Is it in the reading? Is it, who knows? We do need someone in there, hopefully with some kind of background in billing, accounting, someone who works with numbers. I think that comes out of the clerk's office, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know who would be hiring the person. And if we have the money, you guys are going to have to decide that. But 3 years, I mean, I think that's moving in the right direction. If we can't get it right, now what? You're still going to send out misinformation. And no one should have to, like the last office, they said, just pay it and we'll look into it. That is totally unacceptable. I do think that is a good move, but that's up to the board.
well, when we get to that portion of the agenda, we'll have Mr. Chop has arrived. We'll let Johnny go through and give him his spiel, and then we'll kind of give you a background on why we're doing what we're thinking about, what we're trying to do here. So, anyone else have anything for open session? Okay, then we'll continue. Unfinished business. Okay, the following items were requested by Trustee Kowalczyk to be addressed at this meeting. Copy of an election reimbursement invoice for March 8th, 2016 presidential primary election. That was for information. You had written a letter, and I think Matt wanted it read out loud, so.
Oh, he never asked that of me.
No, you don't want it read out loud, you're okay?
I'm okay, I just think the people wanted to know it. I mean, I think we did a good job, all 5 of us, in addressing that issue and handling it in the proper manner.
I'm satisfied with that.
You're happy with it?
Well, yeah, he was the one asking the questions, so I wrote the letter to the board members explaining
Okay.
the
All right.
issue.
All right, very good.
Can we expound on that then, so that the public knows what we're
Well,
recording?
that was kind of my thought.
I didn't say
but-
read it, but expound on it so they know, because right now I know they're all looking at us saying, what are you
Okay.
talking about?
Well, did you want to explain it, Matt, since it was your
Well,
concern?
it was your
Okay.
letter, so you kind of,
Well, I don't have it bookmarked here, so let me find it. But basically, I had called MTA back in February in regards to the extra hours I was putting in to work for the election, the presidential primary election. And when I spoke to a representative there, they had said that they were receiving calls from people all over Michigan, clerks, who were concerned about all the extra hours they would have to put into the 2016 4 elections. And so he told me to take my concern to the board and ask them what I should do with this concern I had for all these extra hours that I would be accumulating throughout the year. I know it's my statutory duty to do the elections. However, it was placing an extreme burden on the clerk. So I went to the board the day after the presidential primary election, which happened to be the board meeting. It was just scheduled the following day, and I hadn't had enough time to pass out any of my hours, any of my hours or my concerns to the board for their consideration before the board meeting. And so at the board meeting, Ken felt to table the issue until the following board meeting due to the fact he hadn't had time to process what I was requesting. And so 2 days later, after that scheduled board meeting on the 9th, we had a budget workshop meeting here inside the office where a few of us attended. And it was at that meeting that VIPAV had stated to all of us at the budget workshop that all of the expenses that the presidential primary had caused the township hall on March 8th would be compensated through the state because it was a special election. So Mary Agnes, the supervisor, was very pleased to hear that all of the expenses incurred by the township hall and the election inspectors and all of their hours would be compensated through the state. So she was pleased to hear that it wouldn't cost the township any cost if my extra hours were compensated through the state. I made, what happened there was I went ahead and issued the following day or the following week, I issued checks to all the election inspectors, including myself with the extra hours being compensated due to the fact that I wanted all of the reports to remain the same and so forth and be dated the same. All of the checks to be dated the same. The treasurer signed the checks, including my compensation check, and I signed the checks. I mailed out all the election inspectors' checks to their homes. They received them. However, there was an agreement here that I would withhold that compensation check and not cash it until the reimbursement check from the state came through. So while in the meantime, we found out that I was ill-advised in doing so. I called MTA. They said, in fact, I was ill-advised and for me to void that check because I was not allowed to be issued any compensation through the state. So the check was voided. I wrote a letter to the board stating the actions and the issues that happened and leading up to me issuing that check. I posted a copy of the original check and I posted a copy of the voided report. So that is the issue that Matt was concerned about and wanted me to explain to everybody. So it didn't cost the township one thing. It was just an innocent error on my behalf. So.
Very good. All right, we also had regular board meeting agenda policy dated 2/12/2014. Matt, what was your recommendation on that?
The point there when I passed that out at the last meeting was that policy, which was before my time, expressed the dates and time frame to get all packet information or concerns that we wanted on the agenda to the clerk. It's the Tuesday or the Tuesday before, the week before the meeting, so that it can be processed by Thursday and then the packets prepared by Thursday. And the reason I brought that up was there were concerns with the packets and not at the last meetings that we were getting the packet. As Mr. Chartier said, he got it when he walked in for the meeting. So that's why I brought that subject up, was so that we would get back on board with following the policy that's been in play for multiple years. That's why I did it, because I think it's fair to the citizens that we as a board are versed on what's in these packets so we can make the most rational decision for the people we represent. That's why I asked for that.
Okay, well, I couldn't find it worded like that, but if you want clarification on it, I would like to, if it's possible, to change that regulation so that I'm doing the agenda, because when the chairman does the agenda, she's more prepared to deliver it correctly if she doesn't have 40 people, handing her things to put on at the last minute. So, and if we could do the last day that you could give me information would be like noon on Monday before the meeting, and that would give me like a rest of that day and then 2 half days to get it ready to turn in. And that would still give you your 6 days before the meeting to have it would be Thursday at 5 o'clock. I could get it delivered to your place of business or your home or wherever I found you.
Right. And we can always adjust policies,
Right.
because we were all over, and obviously the day of a meeting isn't the time for it, so that's why I suggested that we just revert
Look at it.
back to old policy. So we can always look at it and change it.
Okay.
I
So
understand
that would be my request.
Okay.
We should be able to look into that and see if that works.
Very good.
Thank you.
Trial balance and comparative balance sheet report, explanation of need. Matt, can you help me with that? What are you asking?
Well,
The need for it?
Well, if you recall last meeting, there were questions on it, and then we pulled it. Because questions were asked, and we didn't know
The answers.
the answers. So again, this is the way I feel on it. If we put something in it, we should be able to answer it, not only for our well-being, for the people here. So why are the reports there was the question. We didn't have the answers. So if they're back, what is the value of those reports?
Is there anyone here that would feel better about not having those 2 reports in there?
Well, can I explain the reports to
Sure,
begin with?
please.
Okay. If you take note of the agenda, the trial balance report is not a part of the agenda packet this month, okay? And the only reason I included the trial balance into the April meeting packet was due to the fact that the fiscal year ended on March 31st. And if you can pass that down to Matt, he'll see that form. Oh, I'm sorry. Just, can you pass this back? Just take one and pass it back.
Oh, you got, that's a whole set?
Yeah, it's a whole
Oh,
set.
Sorry about that.
So there's the answer right there. You have highlighted.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's all
Okay.
we're asking
Yep,
for.
this
What's
is
the
a page
purpose of the
taken from the
reports? Thank
Accounting
you.
Procedures Manual for the local units of government. And at the end of each accounting period, which March 31st was the end of the first quarter, as well as the end of the fiscal year, so I was including the trial balance. And then the comparative balance sheet is just a glorified balance sheet report. And at the March 9th meeting, which I have a copy of right here, which these are the approved minutes, okay, as of last month. It states the 4 reports that the clerk will be including into the agenda packets throughout the year. Revenue and expenditure report, balance sheet, comparative balance sheet, and then the trial balance sheet. So last month, I included the comparative balance sheet, which is comparing, just like the title says, it's comparing balances from the 2015-16 fiscal year to the 2016-17 fiscal year. And if you look at all the funds, if you wanted to pull that report back up, and in fact, I included it in this agenda packet so that you can see it as well again. Because on one side, it includes all the funds and the balances, and on the other side, it has 2 columns, and one is for last fiscal year, and the other column is for this fiscal year. And it's just comparing the balances. And so the difference between the two reports is that the trial balance sheet includes the expenditure and the revenues, funds, the balances. And so the comparative balance sheet just shows you a glimpse in time. So the comparative balance sheet included in this agenda packet is showing you a glimpse of time at April 30th. So, and what I have included, it's a cheat sheet format, and it tells you what a trial balance is and the difference between the 2 reports. So, if you want to pass it down to him.
Is that for everybody? Or is
No,
that
just for him, just
Oh.
for him.
Just so you see it's in big print.
So,
Is it possible to get one of those too, because it's still kind of it's kind of confusing for the period ended 4/30 of 17.
well, the comparative balance sheet just shows you a glimpse in time at that exact moment. So this is showing you
In
what
other
it
words, it's
is.
just the same column as the,
No, it's not. It's a projected cost for 2017.
sure looks like that's the same numbers transposed over there.
92 is not the same as 84.
416, 418, 586, 586, 9, 7, 98, 98,
Mm-hmm. Down
22,
here?
22, 331 versus 329.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. There's not that much of a difference for the end of 2017 or the same
Okay,
date
well,
of
like I said,
2017.
it's a glorified balance sheet, and I was only including it in the April packet because of the end of the fiscal year. So,
All right, so you're saying now this is only going to be on a quarterly basis and at year end for the trial
Well-
balance? And what
well-
about the comparative? You want to use that as, at the same period of time?
no, I
You
don't
wanna-
have to.
You want to drop that all
Yeah,
together? All right, well, let's see what the rest of the board thinks.
I just think it's nice that we researched it so we can answer the question that was asked last time. So I
Okay, so
appreciate that.
are you all right with
I'm
doing
fine with
both
whatever
of
the board
those?
wants to do.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. The trial balance will continue on each quarter, and we'll have it the year end.
It's fine.
And then, do you want to drop the comparative balance only to the periods, or you just want to just do away with it altogether?
I'll follow the pleasure of the board.
All right, well, what's
Well,
your-
it was approved
Kenny-
to be included. It was already approved.
So, Kenny, are you all right with it?
Yeah, include it if you want. I mean,
Yeah.
whether or not it's useful, it's
Okay, Patty, how do you
remain to
feel?
be seen.
It's fine.
Okay, we'll leave it this the way it is
Okay,
then. Thank you. All right, question regarding Parks and Rec balance of $45,000 in the fund balance. Patty, can you help us with that?
Yes, I can. That is an accumulative figure, the $45,000. The 3/31 of 14, $21,000 was an audit adjustment for capital outlay for the closing of the waterfront park. So the balance in Parks and Recs is $23,636.27. And that's what that figure, and everybody should have that. But the 45,000 is just an cumulative figure. It goes all the way through down to 2017, if you look at the third page. It's kind of like the same thing Angie was saying, it's just glorified, and it just keeps rolling and rolling. It's just a cumulative of everything that's come into that account, that fund.
And we saw that check was moved.
check was
That
moved.
money was moved because when you researched it,
Right.
the check was written to here Untitled, and it was to close the waterfront park property.
Correct.
So there is nothing missing from Parks and Rec. Right.
It was the auditor's adjustment of putting
That
it
was,
in this
yes, they
category.
moved it, and that's
They
when, and the girls spent some time digging that up because we couldn't figure out why there was no notation why it was moved. So,
So this is now the new actual number for Parks and Rec is the 23,000?
right, and
Correct.
it matches the audit, the page in the audit book that was used to send up to the county to get our disbursements for the township park here locally. Okay, any questions, concerns? Good job, thank you. All right, we have a question, no, we have a spreadsheet to calculate the low bidder for the lawn maintenance. Last month, we were asked to put that out to bid again. We prepared the documents, sent them out to 12 different contractors for lawn maintenance in our area. We had we had an advertisement, and 2 other people come in and got copies. We only had a total of 4 bids that came in. You have the totals. The people that turned in their bids were Tim's Lawn and Maintenance from Cottrellville Township, D&D from Powell Road in Washington, Michigan, Andy's from St. Clair, Kevin's from St. Clair, and M&M Snow Removal and Lawn from Casco Township. And it ranged, all the individual line items were described, and everyone was compared apples to apples. So the low bid was $398. And then there was D&D had come in at $425, Andy's come in at $490, Kevin's was $770, and M&M was $435. So our low bid was Tim's, local contractor. I would like to have a motion to approve him as a contractor for the next 3 years to take care of our lawn maintenance.
I motion to have Tim's Lawn Care take care of our lawn maintenance for the next 3 years.
I need a second to that.
I'll
motion.
second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve Tim's Lawn Care to take care of our lawn maintenance for 2016. All in favor signify by saying roll call, please.
Ken,
Yes.
Angie, yes. Mary Agnes.
Yes?
Patty.
Yes.
Ken, or Matt?
Matt?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Motion carried. Thank you. All right, GF is regarding the compensation committee to bring VIPAF in on that. It was, she was not voted in at that time. Here a couple of months ago, she has since left our employ, so she's eligible once again. So I'd like to see if we can place her back in that committee. I need a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion that we reestablish 5 into the compensation committee.
I'll second it.
And we have a second.
Can I
Yes, sir.
please clarify, it is not a committee, it is a commission.
Commission.
There are very important legal distinctions between
Yes.
the two.
You're
Commission.
absolutely right. I am so
May I
sorry.
correct it?
Yep, it's corrected.
Corrected.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Hearing none, motion carried. All right, new business. Supervisor's request for board approval of planning commission members, reappointments for the planning commission. I heard from some people, I didn't hear from everybody, but I can ask a couple. Ellen Jones is going to expire April 30th, 2018, if she would continue to like to serve. And you would? Okay. Lisa Marcus Pressman, hers expires the same date, 4/30 of 2018. She does, okay. Lance Surday is to expire the same date, April 30th, 2018. He agrees. And Jean Moore is to expire 4/30, 2018. Okay, that's everyone that's about to roll over, so if you can give me a motion to the effect, we can do them all at once if you'd like, or to reinstate them and give them a new term.
I make a motion that we reinstate the 4 of these that you mentioned and give them a new term.
Okay, I have a second.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve these people with an expiration term of 4/30. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Hearing none, motion carried. All right. Under new business, we have St. Clair County Road Commission work order to furnish labor, equipment, and materials necessary to replace a crossroad culvert on Broadbridge Road, approximately 35 feet east of McKinley, with an 18-inch by 46-foot 14-gauge polycoat CMP for $3,710. This is one of the locations that are in very dire need of repair. There are several of these road crossings that we're having, I mean, it's critical. This is probably the worst. We want to make sure we get these handled as quickly as we can, a little bit at a time. This is what their recommendation, it would not go over $3,710 by the road commission. Do I have a motion to accept that work order?
I'll make a motion that we accept the work order from St. Clair County for the culvert.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. For $3,710, we're going to replace the crossroad tube at Broadbridge Road in McKinley. All in favor, because we're spending money? I need a roll call vote, please.
Okay, Mary Agnes?
Yes,
Matt?
Yes.
Patty?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Angie, yes.
motion carried. All right, resolution number 2016, number 1 for the St. Clair County right-of-way annual permit expires January 31st, 2017. I have a copy of that in your package there. This is something that I checked with the road commission. Evidently, it started last year. It's an annual permit, and you have to have a resolution each time we do this. So this is the new one. It's almost identical to what you approved last year. Should we read it so the audience can see what we're talking
If they don't
about?
have a copy of it.
You don't have one?
No, I say if they don't.
Oh, okay. Well, I can read it real quick if you want. Resolution R 2016-01, County Road Commission right-of-way maintenance. Whereas the Township of Cottrellville and the County of St. Clair, State of Michigan, desires to make public improvements, namely to construct, locate, or repair utilities such as water and sewer lines for emergency and maintenance type work, which require certain operations within and upon the right-of-way of county road highways, known as various roads, throughout Cottrellville Township, which are under the jurisdiction of the Board of County Road Commissioners and assured of indemnity and protection. Whereas the County Board of Road Commissioners is willing to issue a permit, therefore provided said board against all liability arising by reason of Michigan law. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the governing body of the Township of Cottrellville, County of St. Clair, State of Michigan, that in consideration of the Board of County Road Commissioners granting an annual permit to the Township of Cottrellville under proper application, therefore, to construct and maintain its facilities along and upon the right-of-way of certain highways of Township of Cottrellville shall say harmless and indemnify the County Board of Road Commissioners of County of St. Clair and their successors against all liability which arise or might arise either during the operation or maintenance of various roads in Cottrellville Township along the St. Clair County highways. Said resolution shall run concurrent with the county annual permit. I hereby certify that the above is true and corrected copy of the resolution adopted at a regular board meeting of Wednesday, the 11th of May. I need a motion to support that.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
This one here, it supersedes the previous resolution. Where's that one at?
It's in the book.
R2-1603, what's different?
The only thing I added, I think, was said resolution shall run concurrent with the county annual permit. They said that was left off last, so I added it this time. What it is permission for us to have our DPW, which is Duluth Construction, to work in the right-of-way of the road, and that they're protected by the township's insurance as well as their insurance, in case anything would happen.
Can I ask another, just a simple little question?
Yes, sir?
How did the resolution R2-16-03 get superseded by 01?
Well,
This is a 1.
this is 01.
This would
Right.
supersede 03.
And you're superseding 03.
Oh, I think that should be 15, I'm sorry. I'll change that. It was 215, it was done in 2015,
Okay, so that,
because it was dated 3/11/2015,
okay.
okay?
So the R2015-3 is the one that we're superseding then?
Right.
Okay.
Good catch. Thank you, Ken. All right, I'll offer this motion to accept this.
I'll second it.
All right, we need a roll call vote.
Ken,
Yes.
Mayor Ignas.
Yes.
Angie, yes. Matt,
Yes.
Patty,
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. We have a request for the approval to sign the contract between Michigan Pipe Inspection Incorporated and Cottrellville Township to complete the 2016 SAW project sewer cleaning and video inspection for $112,552.18. The agreement came with Cottrellville Township and Huron Consultants on it, and I've included the agreement in your packet. Is there any questions or concerns about this? And I bet you Sir Mib has something he wants to say about it.
Oh, no, I'm here for questions.
Just questions? Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
The disbursement that we're supposed to be getting, I called the DEQ again yesterday, and she said I should have it probably by the end of this week, beginning of next week, for that $9,000. Are we able to use that for this, or we already have this money?
No, that reimbursement for money already spent.
Okay. That's already spent.
That's already spent. This would be as soon as we get Michigan Pipe to start working, and they invoice us, and then we send that for reimbursement.
Okay.
And obviously, this keeps us within the confines of the budgeted money under this grant.
Yes and no. If you recall, the total budget for cleaning and televising was $114. All the contractors came so high that we decided to split the televising and the cleaning portion. This is only the televising portion, and it's $113. What we're going to do is the state realized that, you know, bids are coming really, really high. So let's find out what we have. And if we do have to clean them, we'll put a program together for the next 5 years or something to tackle them one section at a time. That's the only way. So right now we're trying to find out what do we have, what kind of problems we have. And this is an assessment grant.
Can you modify that grant? Since we're not going to be doing everything that we receive money for, or we're receiving money for?
No, I don't think so.
If it was for televising and repair, and now we're just televising?
Yes.
They're gonna allow you to do that?
I would think that the state, if they're paying for televising and repair, and we're not repairing, then we're in violation.
Well, the guidelines says for cleaning and televising. It didn't say you have to put both. Now, if we demonstrate that we do have an existing program to clean the sewers, I don't think they will have a problem with that.
Can you get us something from the state that what you're saying is gonna work?
Sure will.
I would like it signed by someone from the state, because I don't want to be stuck with having to pay this bill if we don't have the money.
Sure will. And you can approve tonight's item contingent upon getting a statement back from the state.
Do you feel comfortable doing that?
When would we get a price on the cleaning after they're done?
We do have unit prices as part of Michigan quote, but there are no, you see the first part, it says cleaning. We do have unit prices. So if we,
Yeah, but no total.
yeah, if we trigger any of those, we can,
Excuse me, Don, have you seen this?
it's the same one.
I thought Patterson said that he wanted these clean.
Wouldn't there be another mobilization charge every time? I mean, we can go in and inspect it and find out where the problems are, but then we gotta go back and mobilize again and clean it a second time. Wouldn't that be kind of wasteful?
Yeah, but we don't have the money to do both.
It's kind of like an open checkbook.
Fix what we can and not
Well, I know the grant's not for fixing, it's just for cleaning and it's out, right, it won't have to go after more money to fix what we have to fix.
So Matt, have you forecasted the worst scenario if they had to clean everything actually, what that cost would be added to this? Instead of just certain areas or certain footage? How much could we go backwards on our request for the grant versus our performance of the grant?
I can tell you, it's not gonna be double, but, we do have the previous bids. That was for cleaning and televising. And they came in about 30% higher than 113, so they were about 150, 145 to do the whole thing.
When I talked to you a couple weeks, or a few weeks ago, didn't we figure there was like 6 miles?
Correct.
So if this is a linear foot and a 6 miles, that's, if we have to do all 6 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're only gonna have to clean the areas that Patterson can't get through to see what's going on, is that correct?
Correct.
So most of the cleaning that's gonna go on is gonna be along the river. Most likely because of the trees and so on and so forth.
Yeah, you would know the system better.
Yeah, a lot of bigger pipes are gonna have pretty good flow, so they're probably not gonna have to keep cleaning.
And the force mains are,
I'm not worried about the force mains.
Yeah.
Force mains are the force mains. We're worried about the infiltration we're getting from the gravity feed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have another question. Where on this sewer video is the engineering cost for, are you handling the inspections or is Don doing it?
Don would be doing it.
Okay.
So,
So there's no more expense to you guys? You're all caught up?
yep,
When do we get our stuff all GPS, like we talked about?
it's already done.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I coughed. What?
That was done already last year,
Oh,
the mapping portion of it.
okay.
Is that what you were just earlier speaking of the $37,000 payment we've got coming on the SAW grant? Is that what part of that's for?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm
Oh,
just like,
you were talking earlier about a
we got
37.
that, we got that 30, the 38,000, but we're just waiting for a $9,000 one to come. And that's why I was asking if we can use any of that.
for anything else.
But is that for the GPS and is that everything? Is that the end of the Huron bills on the SAW grant? What is?
Oh, no, that's only the first portion. The work we've done
No,
last
I
year.
mean the Huron, not the people, the contractors you've got to use. What portion of that? Because didn't you or hasn't Huron already gotten 40 or 50,000 already?
Yeah, part of the
And
first
now
portion.
another 37?
37,
Isn't that what we
No,
were
no,
talking about?
that's what we
That's
got
reimbursed.
reimbursed.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought maybe that was
No, it's-
another bill you had on top
No,
of the 50.
no.
Okay.
So the inspections will be done by Don's crew, and all of our stuff with Huron would be pretty much caught up then, huh?
Yes, for the first portion, again, we still have
What's the second portion?
many tasks to go through.
The what?
We have other tasks to do
Concerning this
after,
SAW grant?
yeah?
What, the as-built drawings, is that what you're talking about?
No,
or-
no, no, we have
What?
to do, we have to do a condition assessment, which after we've done all the televising, find out what's going on, we do condition assessment, and that includes a capital improvement program. We have to model the sewers and meter it. We put an asset management package, including a GIS software that's going to be here for the DPW to use. So it's going to have all the sewer system interactive, and they can track all the work done on the sewers. Hardware included. Then we go to the next step, which is the level of service for the sewer system. That includes public meetings, ordinance development, and then there's this is the fun one, the rate structure development cost, which we're going to look at your existing rates, and we're going to work with your financial advisor and attorney to come up with a rate methodology for the next lifespan of the sewer system.
Okay,
That's all after we do the assessment.
It's all included in the grant, right?
That's all included in the grant.
And roughly how much money is that left for your portion? Just so we got a ballpark figure. Can you round it up for me?
$140.
140,000?
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's split contractors between the sewer cleaning, everything, and legal, the CPA. It's about 150, 160, whatever. So that's where the 309 comes in. Say 310 for the total grant.
Okay, I just want to make sure we got enough.
So
Yes.
question, so everything that you just wrote is all within the scope of the grant, with the
Mhm.
exception of the cleaning because of the high costs of this?
Yes.
Right. So, and if I recall correctly, approximately $300,000 grant, we spent $30,000 to obtain it. It's a 10% match, wasn't it?
10% match, correct, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All
Now,
right,
we can look into the old bids. I can invite the other contractors that we talked to before. If you would like to get a better figure on cleaning and televising at the same time, we can revisit that. But we've done those last year. We can talk to them, see if they can honor the unit prices. That's not going to be Michigan Pipe, though.
What's your pleasure on this?
Well, if Don is happy with what they're doing, and we're doing everything within the guidelines of the grant, but I would hate to get all this done, spend the whole grant money, and find out the state wants to come back and say, well, you didn't clean it, and that was part of the SAW grant.
Pay us back, the difference.
Yeah. You know, or we get a bill from somebody because we have to go in and do that afterwards.
Totally agree.
How long do you think it'll take to get an answer out of them?
By
Will it take
next
you a
week.
month or so to get an answer?
By next week.
You think you'll have something in writing by next week? Do we want to approve this subject to that, or do we want to wait until we see it in writing?
We'd have to talk to the DPW and have,
What do you think?
it's under
Don?
his advisement, I mean,
Let's get it ready.
okay?
He said next week, so it's a week. How's
Right.
Patterson's schedule looking? Anyways.
That's the thing. They're getting busier by the day.
Well, we'll have to have a special meeting for that, so if you get that letter, will you get
We
it
can
to
do
all
that.
of us as quickly as you can?
Yes,
And then we'll set up a meeting and go from there.
sure.
All right,
So then is this table?
so we're gonna table this for this evening. Do I have a motion to that effect, to table this?
Yeah, I make a motion that we table this until we get our final figures from Surmed.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion to table until we get the final figures. And also, I think we should amend that and add, we get written permission from the DNR that what he says can happen. Or DEQ.
Who, do you get that now from them, or
Yes.
is that something Mary Agnes has to go to the DEQ for, or, I mean, or the grant people? I mean, the grant didn't come from the DEQ, whoever who gives us the grant.
Yeah, I'll contact the project engineer on it. He's the one gonna be reviewing the final report, so
Okay.
he has to accept
Okay,
the deliverables.
okay.
So if he,
So you know who all the people are that you gotta get, all the players, okay?
Okay.
I'll
thank you.
follow up.
All right, we have a motion on the floor and a second. Do we want to amend that with that thing, or do we want to go away at way it was?
You
I
can
just
just
added
table
the-
it. Just table it.
Yeah, let's just table, we know what we're after.
Okay. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. All right. We have an answer to a recent violation from the DEQ. I handed that to you, give it to you in your packet. We also had another incident, Mr. Steeler. Is he here tonight? No? Mr. Steeler was inquiring about the discharge too. He had some questions that were given to Angie, and I wrote him a letter explaining everything that he questioned, and Don delivered it for me, so he's been taken care of as well. I would like to request the possibility of doing a workshop meeting twice a month, maybe the first Wednesday of the month and the third Wednesday of the month, to discuss some specific items, including the support materials. But every workshop would only have one agenda item, and we would get that work done and settled. And I'd like to do this perhaps in May, in June, and if we have to go to July and August. The public would be welcome to this, but it would be more one-on-one between all of us being here, so that we can try and get it's similar to how the county sets up their committees to prepare the legwork for things that they bring back to the board for final decision. I know it would require some extra time from your families, but I figured if we did it like maybe on Wednesday, we close at noon on Wednesday, we could have a meeting for 1 hour afterwards.
I like the idea of the meeting, but Surmed's gonna have stuff within a week. Trying to limit it to only one agenda item might make it tough, because whatever we had for next week lined up already, now we'll have a second one because of Surmed,
Well, we can.
if we're trying to make it pass.
Yeah, well, this is just a general rule, that we would have one specific item to work on. If we had to make a decision like that, we'd just add it to the agenda, but it would just be a workshop. Yeah, a workshop.
Well, I agree with the workshop, but I think that we should not limit it to one,
One item.
yes. Because there may be two things that come up.
All right, well,
And we
can-
don't want to hold that off another 2 weeks so we
No,
can have another
absolutely
one
right.
item.
You're absolutely right.
You can't make a decision like that at a workshop, you'll have to have a special meeting right after.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Yeah, we'll have to call a special meeting for that, Ken.
Well, we still got to get all the information gathered up and put together so we've got the answers and we're not sitting here doing this again.
Right. Well, that's what I'm
Wouldn't
trying
we
to
do
avoid.
that in a workshop?
Well, that's where the discussion's gonna take place, but
Okay.
all the stuff that Surmed's gonna bring to us is probably just gonna be it's gonna probably be a copy of his letter that he's sending to them with the question, so that they answer that question. And it'll be a letter back from us, signed by somebody that is in charge of the money. That's the way I would attack it. I don't know how you wanna attack it, but
Yes.
that's how I would prefer it, if you guys don't mind. I want them to have a specific question so that we know what we're asking and that they give us an answer to that question. Okay, is there any problem with having these workshops at least once or twice a month? I mean, if somebody's got a vacation plan or something, we can cancel it that week or whatever. But I think we need to have some more preparation for these meetings so that we don't take up everyone's time like we've been doing the last 7 months.
I agree.
I make a motion that we have this workshop, the third Wednesday of the month, which will at least cover for this next one.
Okay? You don't want it to, you don't
I
want
don't
it,
want to limit it to just one item because
no, but I mean, you don't want it before, the weekend, the week before the meeting and then the week after the meeting? Or no, the regular meeting?
do we want to try to resolve this before our next meeting, or do you want to wait 3 weeks and we do it then? I'm just taking
You're
this
talking
for
about
Smith.
Sir We're not talking about Sumid. We're talking
I'm
about
talking about
workshop.
the meeting, that's why I'm saying the workshop, third, which would be next week.
Yeah, if he can do that, but I don't know that he can get an answer from the state that fast.
He said he could.
Well, yeah, but,
I think if we install them, we should have the meetings closer to, the workshops closer to the meetings.
That's what I
Because then
thought.
we have an idea of what's gonna be on the agenda.
You're the one that put first and third. I'm just going.
Oh, yeah, we did. Okay.
well, we're on the second.
Yeah, so the first Wednesday, okay.
Yeah.
So it'd be the last Wednesday and the first Wednesday, if you wanted 2 a month.
First and third. Because the meeting's the second. So
Yeah,
The
first and
second.
third.
First and third is right.
First and
Oh,
third.
so before and after the meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was my thought. If you guys
Okay.
want to change it, that's fine, but
Okay.
this was what I was thinking.
All right, yeah.
All right, we have a
That makes
motion to
sense.
do this, then you're all right with this, Ken?
Yes.
All right,
First and
anybody
third.
have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second to begin workshops first Wednesday of the month and the third Wednesday of the month, immediately after hours are closed at 12 noon for at least an hour.
Okay.
All in favor signify by saying aye, please.
All right.
Those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you. All right, now we have Mr. Jonathan Chop to come forward, please. He's our DPW.
I got a copy of this for each one of you guys to see,
Okay.
so you can read
Thank
along.
you. Oh,
Thank you, sir.
I'm just gonna read right from the script, make
Sure.
it easy, this way I don't miss anything. And if you guys got any questions after, feel free to ask. It says, "Dear board members, it's been a pleasure working for the township over the last 14 years. Don and I have really taken pride in our work and have enjoyed working here too. But as we all have seen, it's been a bumpy road in the last couple of years with board members coming and going all the time. Over time, this has slowed the progress of things getting done efficiently and accurately. For example, we've had a SAW grant for about 1.5 years. We've done nothing to get our sewers cambered and repaired and resolved. I'm gonna add this, we keep tabling, we need to start progressing. And since the township hasn't, we haven't cambered or utilized the grant, we've had to pump raw sewage during very heavy rainstorms to prevent basements from flooding with sewage, which is not very good with the DEQ, obviously. Furthermore, I'm also disappointed with how our utility, water, sewer billing system is done. Every time board members change, so does the person doing the utility billing. When this happens, it causes billing to get messed up, which means the township's losing out on money and spending more money to try to fix the problem. This occurs when new members are still learning how to do the billing and not trained in a properly in a timely fashion. After doing some research, I found that we are the only township in the area that does not have a permanent utility billing position, person that keeps their job no matter who's in office. If somebody's elected, and it changes hands, there's always somebody in there that knows what's going on, so water billing's not getting screwed up. Don and I have requested this to happen, for some years, or mentioned it, brought it up to the board, but it never happens. I know and I believe this position alone would pay for itself. Creating this position would also help us see where our losses are and help us keep better relations with our customers and homeowners. Please feel free to call other townships and cities and see what they do. The ones I've talked to mostly have someone who works 40 hours a week with utility billing. We are not asking for a 40-hour-a-week person, just someone who we can count on to be there as board members come and go. This position also keeps 2 eyes on everything and makes sure the township is not losing out. Overall, these issues have made us not want to renew our contracts long-term and made tough working conditions. One major example is the same problems arise every quarterly billing, and there is no one in the office with the time to address them. With not having a utility billing position, people then think Don and John are the billing department, which is not true. With that being said, we are giving you 30 to 60 days to address these issues, or we will be resigning. Thank you for all you've done for us and our families. I really hope we can work together to figure this out, and if not, I hope you understand. Don and John. Any questions?
This is a perfect thing for our next workshop.
Okay. You don't think we can handle it this evening, huh?
No.
My big thing is I see the billing. I've seen it for the last 14 years, and our billing's actually advanced, and I feel like it's advanced, but it's not. We've got more technology, but it's actually even slowing us down. Yeah, but there needs to be somebody that spends time. I called pretty much, for example, the people, China Township has 200 customers. And they have somebody that works part-time just on the water billing. They're not full-time. They only have 200 customers. We have almost 1,000, or say, since we lost Shangri-La, just under 1,000. And we have nobody. And, Angie's busy, the water billing's done out of the clerk. She's busy. She has a lot of stuff going on. There needs to be somebody that's always in the office, no matter who's in there, For example, you guys all know that we work for St. Clair Township. They have somebody that's there 2 times a week, and when the water bills go out, she's there more often, and then she's always there to make sure customers get called back. If there's a problem, we can make sure that it's checked out in a timely manner. Something needs to be done. There's so much bills that somebody could spend more time and make sure the township's not losing out on more money. We can isolate problems, figure that out. That's what we do there.
Well, I think we need to enforce doing the shut-offs.
We can't. There's no way we can do that now. We can't even get our water billing right. So how can you shut people's water off when you're given?
Along with the duty of new person, it will be with all the DEQ, with all the Flint problems and everything else. There's so much more reports that have to be done now from the DEQ. We are also going to have to join the list dig system. That's alone that person's job.
Yeah, we should have.
She has to be here all the time when the board changes, because all that list dig stuff has to come. We are already in violation because we haven't joined it yet because we don't have a person that can do that. I mean, I get called, I'm out probably every day in St. Clair Township with list digs. We gotta join the crew, and we need a full-time person. It's getting really.
It doesn't. Just somebody. There needs to be something, not like full-time 40-hour, just full-time position maybe for the hours that we're open, or at least part-time. But we need to. Somebody's got to come in and spend some time on it. Some real time on it. It's going to take them time to get it straightened out.
I agree, Jonathan. I did that job for 4 years. Do you have it? What we had brought forward, and I'd run it by both of you gentlemen, Angie had hired a new deputy clerk. She's pretty well, she's a numbers person.
Yep.
You can just tell about somebody like that. And she's a whiz-bang on the computer. The reason we thought that she might be interested in it, because she was pretty excited about being on board with Angie when,
Here's her resume.
thanks, when she was hired in here. And then when this came up, she asked also if it would be possible for her to take that job. And we ran it by both of you guys, and you seemed like you were all right with it, but it's the board decision. So that's what I'm asking for you.
I think we would need to get somebody from the outside world. I say keep Chris.
No, we need Chris.
alert. We need Chris.
Isn't this part of the workshop?
That's business.
Yeah.
I like what he said.
Do you wanna hold a
We should be
workshop now,
gathering
or-
the
Well,
data.
no, our problem is
Okay.
he's gonna quit, so I kind of.
I'm not quitting right now, I just wanna see something done because I'm just getting frustrated. It's
Okay.
been screwed up for years.
All right,
And I'm not quitting on the spot. I would love to stay working here, but I'm just getting frustrated.
We're just frustrated that we gotta do something.
And I want the board to know my frustration because if we don't hire somebody, I will quit. That's not a joke. It's
Well,
in
the reason
writing. I
I-
signed it for all of you guys to see. And
The
I know
reason I
that,
appointed the deputy clerk who I appointed was because she has an associate's degree in accounting. And because the water billing duties were associated with the clerk's office, I placed a lot of importance on the fact that she had the associate's degree in accounting. She's only been working for 3 weeks and has done an awesome job so far. And it only seems logical just to transfer her over to the water billing
But
department.
she's not gonna be your deputy.
yeah, we just
No,
need, yeah,
I
yeah.
Are we gonna do this at the workshop, or are we gonna do this tonight? What do you wanna do?
all right, well, I guess we're gonna be done discussing this.
Yeah,
This will be taken up on
yeah, let's do it. I just wanted to make it
We'll do the
in the
workshop
public.
this,
Wednesday.
next week. Okay? All right,
Do we
we're
have to make a
gonna,
motion?
yeah, do we need a motion to just drop this at this point?
Well, it was discussion only, it said on the agenda, it's FYI, right?
Yep,
And he gave us 30 to 60 days
okay.
in his letter.
No, but
So I
it
think we
was.
should gather some data and bring it to the first workshop that we just passed. And,
All right, let's do it that way.
Lots of,
I'm all right with that. You guys are all right with that?
Yeah, we're good with that. Yeah,
All right, good. Thank you.
We need to address the problem. That's all.
I don't think we need we're gonna have our workshop.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
Do we need to make a motion
No,
over
we're
here in
all
the water?
set. No. He wanted his time to speak, and he did, so we're all set. All right, request for approval of service contracts for 2016 pest control. We have the township outside and township garage includes moles. That's $450 a season. We also have the Parks and Rec, it's $250. All those agreements are in your packet, and they're highlighted what the includes. It's Leo's Pest Control. They have done our work here for about 7 years.
There's never been any complaints with his work,
No,
has
he
it?
got rid of those damn moles, and that was pretty important. But I think he sent them next door to your house, didn't they, Ken?
He hasn't raised his price either, has he?
No,
So-
he's right where he's supposed to be. So I would like to entertain a motion to take those, if you want to take them individually or together as a group. We'd like to,
make a motion to accept the service contract agreements for 2016 pest control as written.
okay, I need a second.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Because we're spending money, a roll call vote, please.
Mary Ignis?
Yes.
Patty?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Angie, yes.
Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Information on the county road millage for renewal for the August 2nd. That's for your information. Somebody left it on my desk. I don't know if it came from Mike at the road commission but it's just a little bit of information that they dropped it off to me. So if you have any questions, we'll have to contact the road commission. It's for information only. Request for permission to hold a fundraiser on a Saturday in May to sell baskets of flowers furnished by Tom and Sue Simons. Yes, ma'am.
Could you change something on that? Because I kind of thought that we need chips and we need the swings and stuff repaired before we do events for the kids, and that's why I offered to do it, because the kids aren't going to come to the park if they can't play in the...
Well, we've got money set aside for the repairs.
So when is that going to be done?
Well, as soon as I can get to getting prices to stuff. I dug everything out the other day, all the places that we bought the equipment from and where we got the wood chips, and I just want to shop around a little bit and see if I can find it cheaper from any place else. They got to be treated wood chips, something that won't burn and the kids won't eat it.
Can we do a consortium with somebody to go in with a different township?
That's what they've been talking about.
Now, we can see, but you're going to need a semi-load for there.
Yeah.
I mean, it took every bit of it.
So instead, but can it just go into Parks and Rec for what's needed and not necessarily just events?
Sure, if that's what you'd rather do, that's
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Anyhow, it's going to be furnished by Tom and Sue Simons. They own Starville Landscape. local contractor, greenhouse here in the township, and we'll use the money as needed for repairs and maintenance. And what we'd like to do is use the riverfront park if we can. We've got some volunteers that will sit on the riverside of the park there with, I don't know, how many baskets did Tom say he was gonna bring us?
I asked him to bring 50.
50? All right, he's gonna sell them to us for wholesale, and then she's gonna sell them for, what, $16 a?
16, that's
Yeah.
what the green.
We pay $10.50, and we'll get, the difference is what we'll put in the funds. So, I need township approval for permission to park her little wagon there.
I make a motion for her to park her little wagon and sell the flowers.
Okay, and I need a second.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I know you would. All right, we have a motion. All in favor, excuse me. Hey, guys, we're having a meeting here, sweetheart. Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve the use of the Riverfront Park for sowing flowers for the Township Parks and Rec. All in favor signify by saying
Is there any
aye.
discussion?
I'm sorry?
Is there gonna be some discussion
You
before?
can
the
have
vote?
discussion, yes, sir.
Can somebody tell us something about the Parks and Rec? Last I heard, they had all resigned. We've not reestablished a new one, so I'm just kind of wondering, after we make all of this money, who's going to be in charge of it? Who's going to head up Parks and Rec? What's going to go on?
Well, the money goes into the coffers for Parks and Rec, and the board is the one that controls the money. So regardless of whether we have a committee or not, but Susie's joining, I'm going to get back on it. I've got several people that have asked if they can join. As soon as, we couldn't have a meeting because we had an election, the date
Is
of
that
our
going to be
regular
next
meeting.
Wednesday
So
too, or are we going to talk about Parks and Rec then too?
you can, if you want to talk about it, honey, you can talk about it, whatever you'd like.
Well, she had your limitations of one. I just wanted to make sure we
No,
can
we didn't
address
say that.
other things.
We said we'd address whatever you feel like talking about.
No,
But I would like the support material to be there, so you let us know what you want to talk about, so we can dig up everything we need for you.
water, Parks and Rec, and sewer.
Okay.
I mean, right now, we don't have a Parks and Rec, is that correct?
We don't have a committee, no, but we have people that are we're putting it together.
Okay.
Our next
But right
meeting.
now, we don't have one, right?
We have a meeting next month. It will be a regularly scheduled meeting, and that's when we'll see who shows up. How's that?
Okay. But right now, we don't have one.
Not this minute, no.
We're in the process of trying to put one together again, is that correct?
Right.
Okay. That's what I was just wondering.
Are you asking to join, sir?
No, I'm just asking
Oh,
about it.
I thought you were
Because
volunteering.
there's money gonna go.
Mary, you guys can launch if you start this meeting right at 12 when you close.
We can order
I
pizza.
guess we won't be eating.
No, we'll order pizza.
Oh, jeez, no.
We need a vote on that motion.
Yeah, all right. Are you all set with your discussion, sir? Can we continue?
I just asked.
I know.
I'm done.
And I just answered.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Motion to approve.
Motion to
Sue, so-
approve Sue's, no. Motion to
Parking the
approve
little
Parks
wagon
and.
there.
Yeah, the parking lot.
Yeah, that's right. All right, we have a motion and a second for selling flowers at the Township Riverfront Park. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
And we will be here from 9 to 3.
9 to 3, yes.
Do we have a date for this? Saturday. Which day? This coming Saturday? Oh, this
Yeah,
coming?
we're gonna try this coming Saturday. If it's raining, we'll,
Continue to the next Saturday?
yeah, we'll go to the next Saturday. I just don't wanna be standing out there for 6 hours in rain. Okay, announcements. Anybody got an announcement to make?
I do. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, Angie, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, well, yesterday was my second class to attend the Back to Basics class through Plant Moran.
Yes.
Next Monday is our first appointment with Plant Moran. There are auditors, and our financial statements need to be put together, and the class was super helpful yesterday. I learned a lot about the reports that we produce and all the funds and what they mean and the names and all that. So thank you, board, for paying my way and helping me build an education out of this. So
I'm
thank you.
glad you come back smarter.
Yes.
Yes, sir, Mr. Kabaljek.
Just a point of interest on, I was at the last planning committee meeting, now as the rep there,
Yes?
and update the public what we're doing. We discussed some of the concerns with the Verizon and
Tower?
power.
Yes, sir.
And some of the, one of our new reps is a engineer in that field, had done for 40 years, I believe. So he actually had a meeting with the supervisor discussing a direction to go to try to better that service for all of us. So the issue is being addressed and the concerns are being looked at. What happens with it, we'll see, but the addresses are being looked at. And also, we're working on an ordinance for a emergency billing ordinance, very similar to what IRA has, Marine City has. Some of the problems and concerns we had with the fire authority was our costs are approximately $100,000. Our collection is, I think, less than 20%. And some of the statements said that from our billing company and from others, from the authority, is we don't have the ordinance in play. So Chair Runyon and the board are looking at multiple policies and ordinances to put one together to bring back to this board. So they're researching that right now.
Very
So-
good. Pat, do you have anything you want to add?
No, but I thought we were going to have the board okay the ORV,
Oh, I'm sorry, we were, but I don't have it with me.
Okay.
So I'll do it next week. I apologize.
Put it on
That's
the
right.
next.
We did. The ORV was, just to update, because Pat mentioned it,
Have them
there had been discussion and so
officially-
forth. The county never adopted one.
Right.
And Pat, again, doing lengthy research, found out that it would be the state. And she did contact the state police, and they would be the one. So again, to help the concerns of our residents that came to the offices here, the goal would be for us then to adopt the state policy. So my apologies, I will bring it and get it on the agenda for next meeting.
Very good.
So that we can review it and go forward.
We
All right.
just discussed that we thought it would be good that the board actually, I mean, we brought it, we've got it in the office, but they officially okay or approve that. That's
Sure.
That's how we'll.
And you have one approved already then? The one from the state is all prepared and ready to, okay, very good. Very good.
So-
All right, anybody else got any?
Yeah, I've got one more question.
Sure.
On this road millage, is that something that we've had every year, that this is just a continuation? Is this an increase? What,
I don't
it's
know.
pretty
but
vague.
Like I said, this was just laying on my chair one morning when I came in. I don't even know where it came from. Has
It
anybody
seems,
seen that
it
before?
seems that we have had that in the past. We do it on a year-to-year basis, but I would somehow like you to be able to verify that.
Let me
That it's
check
not
with
an
Mike.
increase, it's just a continuation of something we
renewal.
put in there to help better the roads.
All right, let me check on that, and I'll get back with you next month. Okay, anybody else got any comments? Can we go to the public then? Wait a second, one more. Go ahead.
Okay, announcements of public, my glasses on.
This
At the
is-
April meeting, I was interrupted by Ken Chartier during the public comments and told to sit down and wait. The public is allowed to speak during this time. How soon he has forgotten that the judge ruled in favor of the residents in the court case of the Open Meetings Act. I had wanted to explain to the residents how ridiculous it was to postpone the discussion on the administration fee, and also how important it is to educate the residents on millages. The first proposal on administration fees was computed incorrectly. No one on the board pointed out this fact. Patty's the treasurer, and I was surprised she didn't step up and point out this error. Ken and Matt did not say anything about this either. Ken Chartier made the motion to table discussing the fees and millages for 6 months. Patty and Matt also voted in favor of this motion, so it was passed to table it for 6 months. Mary Agnes tried to get them to vote in favor of having a couple town hall meetings to discuss the financial situation of the township because of the overspending of the previous board, which Ken and Matt were part of. Residents may have ideas and solutions to resolve this matter. Mary Agnes brought up the fact at the meeting that an error had been made on the administration fees computation. She tried to correct it, and the only thing that Ken was interested in was to keep pointing out the fact that the issue is tabled for 6 months. Matt agreed again with this postponement. Ridiculous. Where does it say issues cannot be brought up again, especially when an error was discovered about the information? The residents should have been allowed to hear about this new information. To raise the administration fee 1/4%, making it an even 1%, is something the boards can do without taking 6 months to decide. A discussion on the issue, then a yes or no vote would take minutes. It does not take 6 months to resolve an issue. It's no wonder the township is in the financial situation it's in, with the old board spending money like it was water. Lori and Kelly were not checked out by Matt and Ken during this time. They let them get away with so many costly things. Now things are going to be shoved under the rug, and residents will have to wait for months to see what can be done. The board was voted in to resolve issues, not table them for months. We do have a financial problems. The auditors stated this fact in the audits of 2013, 14, 15. They said with the spending that was being done, we will be bankrupt in a few years. Should we table that and wait and see what it happens? There have been numerous issues the auditors mentioned that needed to be addressed. Were they addressed by the previous board? Lori, Kelly, Matt, Ken. Issues mentioned in these audits have not been checked out and resolved. It seems it was easier to ignore matters when it involved Kelly and Lori than resolve the issues. Most residents do not want an increase in taxes. We do need town hall meetings to get input from residents. It is the board's responsibility to address all issues as they are presented to the board. We need solutions, not nitpicking at the board meetings. If you're going to complain about something, have a solution ready or keep quiet until you have one. And I totally agree with you guys. When we were petitioning for the recall, so many water bills were so wrong. And they'd come into the office and they were just told they don't have time to take care of them. And that's ridiculous. I mean, you know, you're there to serve us. So anyway, I totally agree with them. But with this too, we have to start resolving things. The meeting today really went pretty good. It really did. Everybody was pretty good about everything. But it's just the idea that, you know, we just can't keep going like we're going.
Thank you, Bill.
I just want to reinforce what Bev just said. We can't wait till we go bankrupt. We have to do something and start planning ahead now. Look what happened in Detroit. You know what bankruptcy costs you more in the end. We'll end up, if we prove that we can't handle our own affairs, a big concern has always been that we would be merged with another township. And you think that your taxes are high now, you think that you're worried about things going up for the fire authority or whatever, the 1/4% for whatever. The bottom line is your taxes will be much higher because we'll then be merged with another township, another city, who knows. So we really have to take care of this now, not later, and start discussing it now so we don't end up going bankrupt.
Mrs. Genuine?
Okay. I have a real problem. One quickie. I did make up some things on how to count future taxes. So I'm going to leave them out on the table. If
Thank you.
anybody's interested, just please take one.
Thank you.
Okay, the previous board, before the previous board, when we had a really good board, I was there, our yard waste pickup was $22 a season. When the previous board got in, it went up to $125 a season. So most people didn't take it. They just took their yard waste to the dump themselves or just let it pile up. And that smells a little like codfish to me, so I would like to know if we can rebid the garbage, the trash pickup thing, or, because, you know, that's crazy, 125, from 22 to 125. It's ridiculous.
We'll look into that for you.
Okay, thanks.
They're a horrible company.
Okay.
They throw the recycle bin in the garbage truck most of the time. What they don't leave on the road. I called the sheriff on it twice for littering.
Barbara?
Well, I'm going to agree with you. So, as I said last month, I'm going to do a little bit of investigating. When Gary was standing here with those other three gentlemen, I found it odd that he's asking this board to purchase bags, but that we have to put it in the contract, or we have to come here to get the bags. So I looked up, he loves to talk in the paper, so he put something in the paper, he's with Clay Township, and that the bags are through Mterra. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the three gentlemen that stood here are not with Mterra, correct?
No, they were not.
So, I agree.
He said he wasn't representing.
He wasn't representing them, exactly. And I agree with this gentleman and that gentleman. Many people complain about their garbage being tossed in the ditch. They don't even pick it up. Half the time, your recyclables go in the regular truck. So if you remember, and I think Ken and, I don't know, Matt, if you were on the board at that time, when Gary stood at the podium and asked our prior board, he wanted to break the contract because he was losing money, and he didn't actually read the contract. Not my problem. So it cost our residents more money. And I agree, I don't think you knew that either. So I took the liberty to contact MTerra. So they're probably going to be looking into that and probably be calling someone on the board. And I'm hoping that when their contract, anybody know when their contract's up?
No, but I'll look it up.
That you hike them out of here. Don't give them a contract. Because I don't find them, or their representative that they send here, very trustworthy.
Their trucks look heavy when they come.
So Mrs. Genuine, this is what I found on him, if you want to call MTerra.
Don't
I'll
they get
give you
paid
your
by the
number.
ton? I swear their trucks are heavy.
Oh, do you have it? Here. So anyways, in another article that I found, it has to do with garbage that Gary brought into Manistee that sat there, and he said, oh, he was gonna make, recycle it, and then finds out DEQ said, nope, that's not stuff you can recycle, because he put it under paper products, and it wasn't under paper products. So it's very interesting, some of the things that he has spoken about, but yet himself has violated many, many laws. Also, with that being said, like I said, I hope you guys look into maybe trying, Patty, something different other than with him. It would probably work. You just can't trust someone and they expect your residents to dole out more money. And I would love to know the answer to your question, why did it go up so much?
Well, that's
And actually what the
no more
people,
codfish.
but that's actually what they said, the people had to pay extra money. And I don't remember what it was, if it was $125.
$100.
Correct, because MTerra was losing money. Also,
Excuse me for 1 minute. Do you recall that, when that, who made that? Did we agree to that? The board agreed to that hike or no?
correct.
No, we didn't agree to the hike. MTerra backed out the yard waste portion of it and
Okay.
brought in an outside company.
An outside contractor to pick up the trash?
Outside, and wanted the residents for the yard waste to deal direct with them.
Oh, I got you, all right.
And the previous board allowed them to back the yard waste portion of their contract out.
Okay.
Well, they
But she was right. He
always
said that,
dealt
yeah,
With the people, with the customers, they've never dealt with the township on the yard waste. It's always been.
One-on-one.
They would always send the letters or the bills directly to the.
well, I don't know why they brought that in here, but then they said, they did quote it, as I understand, I mean, for each of the residents, but then wanted to change the rates. And we weren't gonna let them do that, that's why they were gonna have an outside contractor
Well, I
deal
would say
direct.
changing the rates by $100.
Quite a rate.
Again, the township didn't have any control of it,
No,
and that was, they wanted to have that,
but we do have control over who we bid and
absolutely.
Yes, we do.
And I don't know if it was a 1 or 3 year contract, I don't
I don't know, but
recall
I'll let
it.
you know tomorrow. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go
No,
ahead,
that's
Barb.
okay,
Finish
that's
it up.
okay. I just have a couple other things.
Sure.
Regarding policies, back in May of 2015, the board also voted again to renew the public participation policy. I don't know if you're all aware of it. You get 3 minutes. The board is not allowed to respond to us, and you cannot ask us our name or address. I would hope that you would revisit that, because I actually like the comments that have come from this board tonight. Get rid of that policy.
Well, I think that's kind of a, I know it's supposed to be written in, but as I've always chaired committees and meetings before, as long as the audience is calm and when I tell them to cut them off, I can. If they start repeating themselves after the third time, then I cut them off. That's an internal rule of mine. And I like the feedback from you people, because that's what we're here to do, is to serve you. And you come up with some wonderful ideas, and I would not stop that pipeline for nothing.
Correct, but then you gotta look at that policy, because then you're in violation. So just saying, look at it, readjust it, and then, other than that, you didn't really talk about the violation with the sewage going into the river. Did we get a fine for that? What happened with that? You didn't really say.
I haven't gotten a fine yet, no. They sent us a certified letter, we've answered all the questions, everything went back. I contacted her on Monday. I mailed it last Thursday. I talked to her I contacted her on Monday. She was not in the office. She said she would be there the rest of this week in her office. And she asked me to call her, so I'm gonna find out if there's gonna be any repercussions for it. But I
Okay,
think
Don, you did call them when that happened, correct? Didn't you say that at the last meeting? Okay, that was it. Other than that, nice meeting you guys.
All right, thank you.
One more comment too. With the garbage.
Yes, ma'am.
We pay $145 a year. That's $12 a week. Do you know sometimes we don't even have garbage out there? I mean, you think about it, it's $12 to get rid of your garbage. We may have an A bag out there. Sometimes we don't even put anything out. Recycle may be put out every second or third week when it's full. I mean, that seems like a lot of money for $48 a month just for garbage.
No, they're $12 a month.
A month.
12 times 12 is for 140.
Oh, it's $12 a month.
$12 a month.
Oh, I'm sorry. Take that back. I didn't say that. Erase it from the minutes.
That's the only mistake you made. Thank you, Pat.
I hope this is the last comment, so you can go home.
That would be nice, but go ahead, sir.
Okay.
We always like to hear from you, Mr. Barnes.
I got two questions really, of Angie. Or the board. How did we get money, or where did we get the money from to hire an assistant for Angie, is number one. And number two, I want to commend Angie for sending out that email about the election. It was quite interesting. I don't know how much work it is, but it sure would be wonderful for me if anytime you have a special meeting, because the signs don't work out there, because that isn't where I wanted the sign. I wanted it by the road when I complained about it. But if it's no work, special meeting, Wednesday, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Boom. And if you got everybody on there and you can just do that quick, that wouldn't take much time, and it would really be, for me, it would really be helpful.
Do I need board approval to do that?
Well, that's what we're trying to do right now. She's taken that upon herself to make sure that that she updates that thing on a regular basis. When she gets a new piece of information, she handles it that way. That's what we're trying to get everybody to give us their email addresses so that everyone has that benefit. Well, how many are you sending out right now? Do you have any idea?
60.
60.
Well, I think it's wonderful.
Yeah,
that,
it is.
that
It's a good idea.
You get that stuff, and then you know, like the special meeting that's coming up, oh, here it is.
Yep,
I
and what's
didn't
on it.
forget. Because us young people forget sometimes, you know, so it's helpful.
I didn't know if I had approval to do that or not, to post special meetings to the emails.
Yes.
I didn't, okay.
Yes, please do that.
All right.
Anyone else? All right, I need a motion to adjourn, please.
I make a motion to adjourn.
We have a second? Okay. Motion to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carried. We are adjourned.